Hey there guys, SEE Top Deck here, and get your lunch trays ready because on the menu today is Valparaiso Rush. Hey guys, so I wanted to bring you this gameplay, and this is Valparaiso Rush, and this is only on the attacking side. As you can see, I get off to kind of a rough start here with two back-to-back deaths. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of dying, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you this gameplay, and that is because it represents a very average rush game for me on the attacking side. And this map in particular, because it's a very popular map, a lot of people like it. It seems to be fairly balanced in places, and this is not one of those gameplays that you might see on YouTube, you know, of people just owning everyone with a 5 KD and, you know, telling you this is how you should play and this is how I do it. This is just not one of those gameplays, and I'm not one of those types of players. And this is more meant to open up a little bit of a dialogue of, you know, in our clan here of what can we do better, and what can I do better, and maybe open up some open dialogue of, you know, I think that you should have done this, I think that you should do this, I think it's a good idea to do this, this is what I do, you know, coming from some of the more experienced players. And so I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to, you know, point out my mistakes, you know, and kind of explain my train of thought in some of these places. So anyway, we have come in and we have taken Bravo. I believe we only have Alpha left at this point. And as you can see from earlier, I tried to get on that right side. That's the side that I prefer the most on this first set. And I'm just trying desperately to get over there, and I'm getting sniped from somewheres. And this mortar strike is kind of holding me back a little bit, but I decided to jump in anyway and arm the objective, and that was my whole goal for going to that side in the way that I did. And coming, it was kind of funny as I shoot this guy, doesn't go down, and then Pancake saves him with a 40 mil grenade to the back of my head. But the important thing is that we set it, and I get a quick little double kill on the hand grenade in there. And then the next thing I try to do, I mean, both objectives are set, or they're both gone rather, and try to just do a sweep of the back of the spawn, and try to take out any, you know, lingerers that are in there. And it's important because if you just, you know, concentrate up and everyone starts to rush off, there's a good chance that there'll be people on the backside that will pick off teammates as they're heading to the next set. And as you can see, I tried to edit out as much of the death sequences as possible. No one wants to watch that, and it gets quite boring. And in this particular game, the defenders weren't immediately moving back. They were playing pretty forward positions, and so you have to be careful when moving on to the next set. As you can see there, I died almost right away, and Genesis was nice enough to save my life. And on this second set, I always go to the right, always. I never try to head up through the little jungle there in the center or go to the left on the road. I always go into the right because a lot of times it's unguarded, and as you can see here, I literally walk right up into the back of their base. And I don't consider this spawn killing because in Rush, a lot of times, especially on this map, the control points where your team needs to be is basically right in the spawn. And having your team presence there does something called spawn control. And by being behind the objective here, we're going to cause the enemy spawn to move to the right, more towards the helipad. And this makes it a lot more difficult for them to defend the objectives. And so my whole goal in this second set is to get behind here, take out any enemies that are rushing over from the helipad, and arm the objectives when I can. And I'm also spawning up on that trailer there because my teammate was up there, and is a very good place to spawn because for whatever reason people don't tend to look up there, and I've had games where I've died and spawned on a guy there just lurking on the top of that trailer, maybe 5 or 6 times until he was finally taken out. And each time I do that, I try to drop ammo when I can. But I do try to get up that trailer as soon as possible so nobody sees me and I don't give away his position. Going to the back of the base again, and I just keep on rushing back here. Keep on coming back, and hopefully that any teammates of mine that do die, they can spawn on me while I'm back there, forcing that enemy spawn over to the right, and giving us more time to arm these objectives. And here I'm making my way around, and I see that the objective is pretty clear, so I decided to run up while I could and arm the objective. And as you can see, it's totally blown apart, so only the MCOM is left, and that's very dangerous, and I'm taking fire over from the helipad, and we forced them over there, and then I get taken out. But now that we've set it, things are looking a lot better on our side, and it's a lot easier to defend when the enemy spawn is so far away. And I see some guys spawning on a squad mate here, and I get taken down by kind of a random grenade. But one of the things you'll see from there is that I went through the 40 mil first, and I did take down an enemy, and then I went to hip fire. And what I've been trying to do is fire first and iron sights second, so that I don't have that delay between going to iron sights and firing. And sometimes it works out great, and sometimes it doesn't. In that case, it did and didn't. I did take down some additional enemies. However, I was just not accurate enough to get that guy all the way in the back, and I should have went to iron sights, and I didn't. On this set, it's almost the exact opposite. I go hard left, and I go for alpha, and the reason is that most of the defenders like to go over to the docks areas, and they leave this area kind of open in the beginning, and it's a pretty easy objective to get and to set and to defend if you can stay alive for long enough. And here my squad mate spawns on me and just really ruins my good time because there's all kinds of enemies coming up, and I don't want to kill him. And in hindsight, I should have just fired and taken the team kill, because I think I was in a better position than he was to take out those enemies. He was just too close range for his weapon set. And here again, just a total fail. I did go to iron sights, but it was just way too late. So now we're left with just Bravo, and I almost never actually set Bravo. The position that I like to play in this exact situation is to go the alpha way and to go to the left again. And I go up far, and I try to make a cutoff point. I try to set up a point where I'm secure and I can get enemies before they can disarm the objective. So I go all the way up here, and usually I post up here or a little bit farther back, because you have a good line of sight to the run up to the objective, both underneath that back house where people like to lurk around. And here I'm just a little bit late, so not a whole lot of guys were coming in because we had already got the objective. I was just a little bit late on that one. In this next objective here, I do almost the exact opposite, and I always go to the right. So I do the opposite of what I did last time, and that's not on purpose. I'm not trying to throw anybody off by any means. It's just the routes that I like to take. And one of the reasons why I always take this route is because the objective is fairly close when the trail empties out. And there are lots of lurkers that head up on the back of this hill, which can be difficult. But if you can get back here, you really control this whole pocket of where the objective is. And I was trying to get a good line of sight on that guy, and he looked like he was shooting at somebody in back of me, and I just couldn't get the sight on him before he shot me. Take down the little catfish in the window there, and heading in the back. And I almost always do this, head around the back here, clean up anybody, or try to clean up anybody that might be lurking, and push that spawn over towards the helipad and try to keep it there for as long as possible. And here again, I should have went to iron sights. I kept it in hip fire. He was just a little bit too far out for that range, and I'm still learning where that range cutoff is for hip fire. You know, with the assault rifle, as I've been trying to do this, shoot first and iron sight second. And as you can see there, the guys are lurking back around into that pocket of jungle and leaves and whatnot. And in the meantime, while I was busy, you know, dying, we got the other objective. Sometimes I do go over to that left, but it's pretty rare. It depends on exactly, you know, what my squad is doing and what we're trying to do. And it just so happened that in this game my squad was going on the right, and that's the side that I prefer, so that's the side that I went to. This is my least favorite set. I'm still learning what the best approach for my gameplay style is, playing assaults on this set. And I don't like going all the way to the right. I've never had a lot of luck doing that, and I try not to go all the way to the left like I am here. Sometimes it's a good idea because you can pick off people that are lurking up on that hill, and sometimes I just try to go right down the center. Here, after that death, I spawned into a helicopter, and that didn't last long, but I wanted to just put it in here anyway because it is a death. And we're kind of far enough away, and the guys are more in the back, and it was hard to see people. So I was just more or less trying to see where the enemy was and just shoot anybody I could, but it just didn't work out. And here again, I'm trying a different route. I'm trying to go right up the center, and I actually make it into the enemy base, but I get crink-ubbed in the back, so that didn't last long. So that tells me that there are guys up there close. And here I spawn on a squad mate up on the left side, and I kill a squad mate, which is always delightful. And I get put in a 2-on-1 here, and try to go for the easiest guy, but there was no way that I could actually get both of them, and I get taken down. And I see my squad mate going over here towards the helicopter, so I decide to take the gamble again and jump in the heli. And my goal here is not to fly around and shoot people because there seems to be some skilled players with AT4s and tracer darts and stuff, so I don't want to linger in here for very long, and I don't. What I want to do is I want to jump off and I want to arm that objective. That's my whole goal for this helicopter ride. And I try to jump out, and I get hit by my own helicopter. I spawn in and do the same thing. I jump immediately with the parachute knife, which is always fun, and hip fire again. Now that one he was in close enough range, and unfortunately I get taken out before I have a chance to arm the objective. So again, sweeping around the back, pushing that spawn, and trying to take enemies off guard as they're moving up to defend these objectives. And we've already taken this objective, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to clear out this area. I'm trying to look for enemies, take enemies out that are up here on the second story of this mobile home, getting shot at from somewhere. And I do hear there's an LMG up on the second story, so I'm going to try to take him out, just moving my way around, because this is a good vantage point for people that want to take out our team that is trying to arm that objective. So I'm going to come up here and use this vantage point for the exact opposite and try to take down enemies that are trying to disarm the objective. And I do take down a couple there that were on the MCOM, and we end up winning. And as you can see here with the final score, I finished with a positive KD. I had a lot of fun, had some knife kills too, I believe, and this is an average rush game for me on attack. And hopefully you guys can take a look at this video and leave your comments and suggestions, not only for me, but you know, maybe some good ideas for our newer players as well in this thread. So anyway, Valparaiso Rush on the attacking squad. This is SE Top Deck. Later.